Parallel AC circuits. Today topic is parallel AC circuits. So here the topics are learning objectives, solving parallel circuits, vector or phasor method, admittance method, application of admittance method, complex method or phasor algebra method, series parallel circuits, series equivalent of a parallel circuit, parallel equivalent of a series circuit, resonance in parallel circuits, graphic representation of parallel resonance, and points to remember, bandwidth of a parallel resonance circuit, Q factor of a parallel circuit. So these are the objectives, learning objectives. Now parallel AC circuit, they given the CRO and function generator and probes. So here parallel AC circuit combination is important in power, radio and radar applications as in series AC circuits. Now solving parallel circuit. When impedance are joined in parallel, there are three methods available to solve such circuits. When impedance are joined in parallel, there are three methods available to solve such circuits. So here, first one is vector or phasor method, and second one is admittance method, and third one is vector algebra method. Vector algebra method. So now in vector or phasor method, consider the circuits shown in figure. So here two reactors A and B have been joined in parallel. A and B, here not two reactors, these are the impedances. A and B have been joined in parallel across RMS supply of V voltage. The voltage across two parallel branches A and B is the same. Why? These are connected in parallel. So, but current through them are different. Current through them are different. Here, see circuit, observe this one. The supply voltage V, RMS voltage, current is I RMS current, and branch, that means impedance A, ZA is nothing but here ZA is nothing but it is the combination of resistor and inductor, and B here branch, B branch, here it is the impedance, it is the combination of resistor and capacitors. See here from the circuit, the current I1, I2 are different, but the voltage across the A and B branches is same. For this purpose, we have taken The voltage is the reference. Supply voltage is the V is the reference in vector diagram. See here, observe. So V is the voltage is V is the reference in x-axis, and I1 current here. I1 current, I1 is not represented. It is in downward. Why? It is the lagging in inductor. So I1 is lagging with pi 1 angle with respect to the voltage of V. So the current is lag by pi 1 degrees with respect to the voltage V. So pi 1 degrees is lagging current. So now I2 current in the RC. This in this capacitor RC circuit, the current is leading. The current is leading in this circuit. So the current is leading. So voltage taken V is the reference voltage. The current is upward direction. That is angle is how much angle? Pi 2. The angle between the V and I2 is pi 2 in RC circuit, impedance 2, and the angle V and I1 is pi 1. So this resultant, this I1 I2 resultant will give the I value. If the inductance value is so dominating in this circuit, that means in this circuit the reactance of the that means inductive reactance is higher than the capacitive reactance, the current is lagging. So here in this vector diagram, the drawn this vector diagram, the current is lagging by pi degrees. Why? Here the nature of the circuit is inductive circuit. So the angle between the voltage and resultant current is pi. This is the circuit diagram and the phasor diagram of the vector or phasor method. So now here they given Z1 is equal under root of R1 square plus XL square. Here they didn't given R, they given R, but we have to consider it R1, and in branch 2B, so we have to consider it R2 and XC. So here for branch A, Z1 is equal to under root of R1 square plus XL square. So now I1 is equal to V by Zn. Here V by Z1, I1 is equal to V by Z1. That means here the branch 1 or branch A current is I1. So that I1 is equal to V by Z1. So now power factor of the branch 1 cos pi 1 is equal to R1 by Z1. From this power factor we get the phase angle. So that is pi 1 is equal to cos inverse of R1 by Z1. So here the current I1 lags behind the applied voltage is by angle of pi 1. See from the phasor diagram is pi 1. So here they didn't write so pi I1. So we have to remember, we have to choose that this is the I1, the angle with voltage and I1 is pi 1. See here. For branch B, the impedance is, that is the second impedance Z2 is under root of R2 square plus XC whole square. So after that, the current in the branch B is I2 is equal to V by Z2. Now power factor is cos pi 2 is equal to R2 by Z2. Then we get from the power factor, phase angle is pi 2 is equal to cos inverse of R2 by Z2. So here the current I2 leads V by pi 2. That means here this is the current is leading in the branch 2 by pi 2 angle. So V is the reference, I2 is a leading current with angle of pi 2. So this is the branch B. Now the resultant current is, here the circuit current I is the vector sum of the branch current I1 and I2. So using parallelogram method, so we studied in the physics. So here the parallelogram is, so for example 1 and 2 will give the 1. So 1 and 2 will give the under root of 1 square plus 2 square. So A and B in parallelogram method will give the under root of a square plus b square plus 2ab cos theta. So that is a parallelogram formula. So physics. Now, so here using parallelogram law of vectors, so as shown figure, so it is resolving I2 into x component and y component. That means here active and reactive components respectively, and then by combining the components and then combining these components as shown figure, the method is preferable as it is quick and convenient method. So here some of the active components of I1 and I2. Here active components from the branch 1 and branch 2 currents. So here they can written in resultant active component. So here I1 cos pi 1 plus I2 cos pi 2. So this sum of, and other one is sum of the reactive components. That means here use the sin pi notation. So here sum of the reactive components I1 I2 resultant is, reactive component resultant is I2 sin pi 2 minus I1 sin pi 1. Why minus? Here the I1 is, here the inductive current angle is inductive. So the current angle in inductor is negative. So they return in minus I1 sin pi 1. So if I is the resultant current and pi its phase, so then its active and reactive components must be equal to these x and y components respectively. Here, so resultant reactive component is, so I cos pi is equal to I1 cos pi 1 plus I2 cos pi 2, and I sin pi, that means I reactive component resultant is I2 sin pi 2 minus I1 sin pi 1. Here from these two resultants we get I is equal to under root of x component square plus y component square. That means under root of active component square plus reactive component square. Here I is equal to under root of I1 cos pi 1 plus I2 cos pi 2 whole square plus I2 sin pi 2 minus I1 sin pi 1 whole square. Here the phase angle pi is determined from these two components, active and reactive components. From that we can derive tan pi. So here tan pi is equal to I2 sine pi 2 minus I1 sin pi 1 divided by I1 cos pi 1 plus I2 cos pi 2. In this circuit, they didn't write plus in the numerator between the sin pi 2 and sin pi 1, minus between in the denominator. So here y component divided by x component. If tan pi is positive, the tan pi is positive, then current leads, and if tan pi is negative, then current lags behind the applied voltage. So here this is the phase angle positive and negative. So now power factor of whole circuit, here power factor is, what is that? The cosine angle between the voltage and current. Here cos pi is equal to I1 cos pi 1 plus I2 cos pi 2 divided by I. That means here x component of current, or otherwise active component of current, divided by resultant current I. Here the given phasor diagram. So here x-axis is taken as the cos pi and y-axis is taken as the sin pi. So from that, I1 is combination of I1 cos pi 1 and I1 sin pi 1. I2 is I2 sin pi 2 and I2 cos pi 2. So this is the x component and y component. Here from this, in general, what we can say here I1, I2 x components are added, that is the active components. That means here active component I1 cos pi 1 plus I2 cos pi 2, and here also so here sin pi components, that means reactive components are added. Here I1 sin pi 1 minus I2 sin pi 2, or otherwise whatever the so taken as upper side, also taken as lower side. So the resultant is I, given here in this circuit. This is the voltage. Voltage is lagging by pi degrees with respect to the voltage. Otherwise, so in capacitive circuit, so the angle is pi is leading with respect to the voltage. Next, go for admittance method. Here admittance of a circuit is defined as the reciprocal of its impedance. That means here admittance, that means it admits impedance which opposes, so the current impedance is opposes the current. Admittant is admit, that means allows the current. So here y is equal to 1 by z. It is the reciprocal of a impedance. Admittance is nothing but reciprocal of impedance. Here y is equal to 1 by z. It is equal to, can be written as in current and voltage is I by V. That is y is equal to RMS amperes divided by RMS volts. Units are what? Here units are Siemens. So now a circuit having an impedance of 1 ohm has an admittance of 1 Siemens. So impedance of 1 ohm has an admittance of 1 Siemens. So the old unit was mho, so ohms spelled backwards. So here As the impedance Z of a circuit has two components, X and R. Similarly, admittance Y also has two components. The X component is known as conductance and the Y component is susceptance. See here, observe this one. Here, Z is nothing but an impedance in the figure 1, and in figure 2, Y is nothing but admittance. So, an impedance, it is the combination of R and X. That means resistance and reactance. R is the resistance, X is the reactance. So, now Y is a combination of G and B. G is the conductance and B is the susceptance. So, here the return is, this is the admittance method. Y is the admittance. So, they draw in the triangle. So, now here Y component as a susceptance and X component as a conductance. Here G is equal to Y cos pi. G is equal to, so Y is 1 by Z, cos pi is R by Z. So G is equal to R by Z square, that means R by Z R square plus X square. Similarly, the susceptance B is equal to by sin pi, that is equal to, so 1 by Z into, they written 1 by 2, it is not correct, that is 1 by 2 into X by Z. So here B star is equal to X by Z square, that means X by R square plus X square. Here the admittance Y is equal to and root of G square plus B square, just as a Z is equal to and root of R square plus X square. So here the unit of G, B and Y is Siemens or Mohs. So we will regard the capacitive susceptance as positive and the inductive susceptance as negative. The inductive susceptance as negative. So now, on the special case, when X is equal to 0, that means reactance is equal to 0, Z is equal to 1 by R. See here, Z is equal to under root of R square plus X square. So substitute here, Z is equal to R square plus X square. Substitute here, Z is equal to, X is equal to 0, substitute, then Z is equal to R. From these, so here Z is equal to, G is equal to, formula is R by under root of R square plus X square. Substitute here, X is equal to 0, G is equal to R by R square, that means R under square is cancelled. The remaining G is equal to 1 by R. So here Z is equal to 1 by R. The conductance becomes reciprocal of resistance, not otherwise. So X is equal to 0, then G is equal to 1 by R. That means it is the reciprocal of, G is the reciprocal of resistance. Similarly, in the special case, when R is equal to 0, B is equal to 1 by X, susceptance becomes reciprocal of reactance, not otherwise. So, application of admittance method. See here, branch 1, branch 2, branch 3. These three impedances are connected parallel. This parallel impedance are connected to the supply voltage V. That is the RMS voltage, and the current is I. So here Consider three branch circuit in given figure. The total conductance is found by merely adding the conductance of three branches. Similarly, total susceptance is found by algebraically adding the individual susceptances of different branches. Total conductance G is equal to G1 plus G2 plus G3. The total susceptances B is equal to minus B1 plus minus B2 plus B3 algebraic sum. So here the total sum admittance algebraic sum, the total admittance y is equal to under root of G square plus B square. The total current I is equal to V into Y. So here power factor cos pi is equal to G by Y. G by Y. Now complex or phasor algebra. Consider the parallel circuit shown in figure. The two impedance Z1 and Z2 being in parallel have the same potential difference across us. See here, Z1, Z2 are parallel. The voltage is applied across these two parallel cases. The voltage is same. So R1 X1, R2 X2. X1 is inductive, that is XL, and X2 is capacitive minus J XC. I1 is equal to V by Z1. I2 is equal to V by Z2. Current in the branch 1 is I1 and the current of branch 2 is I2. So that is current I1 is equal to V by Z1, I2 is equal to V by Z2. So these two resultants will give the, so I, that is I is equal to I1 plus I2. That is I1 is V by Z1, I2 is V by Z2. V by Z1 plus V by Z2 equal to V into 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2. That is V is equal, that is equal to V into Y1 plus Y2. That is equal to V into Y. So Y is the total admittance. So where Y is total admittance, that is equal to Y1 plus Y2. Should be noted that admittances are added for parallel branches, whereas branches in series, it is the impedance which are added. Admittance are added, very important note. Admittances are added for parallel branches. So impedances which are added for series branches. However, it is important to remember that since both admittances and impedances are complex quantities, all additions must be in complex form. Simple arithmetic additions must not be attempted. Consider the two parallel branches. Y1 is equal to 1 by Z1, that means 1 by R1 plus JXL. Here numerator and denominator multiplied with R1 minus JXL. So we'll get R1 by R1 square minus jxl by r1 by r1 minus jxl by r1 square plus xl whole square, that is equal to r1 by r1 plus r1 square plus xl whole square minus jxl by r1 square plus xl whole square, that is equal to g1 minus jb1. Here g1 is equal to r1 by r1 x plus xl square, that is conductance of upper branch, and b1 is minus xl by r1 square plus xl whole square, that is the susceptance of upper branch. So now y2 is equal to 1 by z2, that is equal to 1 by r2 minus jxc. Here numerator and denominator is multiplied with r2 plus jxc. So r2 plus jxc divided by r2 minus jxc into r2 plus jxc, that is equal to r2 plus jxc by r2 square plus xc whole square, that is nothing but r2 by r2 square plus xc whole square plus j xc by r2 square plus xc whole square, that is equal to g2 plus jb2. Total admittance y is equal to y1 plus y2, that means y1 is g1 minus jb1, y2 is g2 plus jb2. So here g1 plus g2 minus jb1 minus b2, that is nothing but capital G minus jb. Y is equal to under root of g1 plus g2 whole square plus b1 minus b2 whole square. So now pi is equal to tan inverse of b1 minus b2 by g1 plus g2. Here they didn't written plus in denominator minus in the numerator. The polar form for admittance is y is equal to y angle of pi degrees, where pi is a given pi value from the tan inverse b1 minus b2 g1 plus g2. So y is equal to under root of g square plus b square angle of tan inverse b by g. So here the total current I is equal to V into Y, I1 is equal to V into Y1, I2 is equal to V into Y2. If V is equal to V angle of 0, Y is equal to Y angle of pi, I is equal to V into Y, that is V angle of 0, and Y angle of pi, that is Vy angle of phi. In general, if V is equal to V of alpha, V of angle alpha, Y is equal to Y angle of beta, that is I into Vy, that is equal to V of alpha into Y of beta, that is V into Y angle of alpha plus beta. Here this is two angles alpha and beta are added, alpha plus beta here. Hence it should be noted that when vector voltage is multiplied by admittance either in complex or polar form, so the result is vector current in its proper phase relationship with respect to the voltage, regardless of the axis to which the voltage may have been referred to. So here this is the theory for the parallel circuit. Here parallel, once again repeat, here for solving parallel circuits, vector or phasor methods and admittance method and vector algebra methods are used. If the two reactors are given, the vector phasor method is in this way. See here, observe this one. I1, I2 is a vector. I1, I2 resultant is gives a I. So pi 1, pi 2. From these two get pi. V and I set an angle with pi. This is a Z1, Z2, and resultant current X component and Y component will give the resultant current I. This is X component, that means active component current, and Y component, that is reactive component of give the tan pi. From that pi will gives. So now this is the X and Y. Admittance method, here admittance method, so it is a reciprocal of impedance. Here conductance and susceptance. G is the conductance, it is nothing but R by R square plus X square. Y is the admittance, and B is the susceptance. B is equal to under root of X by R square plus X square. B is, so when the cases, special cases, X is equal to 0, G is equal to 1 by R, and special case R is equal to 0, B is equal to 1 by X. Applications of admittance method. So here G is equal to G1 plus G2 plus G3, B is equal to minus B1 plus minus B2 plus B3. So total admittance is Y is equal to under root of G square plus B square. So I is equal to V into Y. Power factor is pi, cos pi is equal to G by B, Y. So here complex or phasor algebra. Here this is the complex circuit. The current, so I1 in branch 1, current I2 branch 2, these two added directly. Direct means it is a phasor addition or complex addition. So I is equal to I1 plus I2, that is V by Z1 plus V by Z2. So V 1 by Z1 plus 1 by Z2 into V, that is Y1 plus Y2, that gives a V into Y. That is the Y1 plus Y2 is called, so total admittance. From that Y1 we can derive the admittance 1 from the branch 1 and conductance and susceptance. Y1 is, so here given it is a combination of G1 and B1. G1 is R1 by R1 square plus XL square, B1 is minus XL by R1 square plus XL square. It is same as that, but here the capacitance is so connected. So here that is G2 is equal to R2 by R2 square plus XC square, XC whole square. B2 is equal to XC by R2 square plus C whole square. Y is equal to Y1 plus Y2, that is nothing but under root of G1 plus G2 whole square plus B1 minus B2 whole square. The pi is calculated, pi is derived from the tan inverse B1 minus B2 by G1 plus B2. So here if alpha and beta angle is present, how can we so derive this? I is equal to, so under root of I is equal to Vy into alpha plus angle of alpha plus beta. This is the, so theory can derive.